What is going on YouTube? Heading back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to USD, also known as Ripple to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap. And in today's video, I want to spend majority of the episode really discussing where we are kind of in the market and where we are going to see the market potentially go, kind of predict where we expect things to take a turn to and pretty much what's expected to come in the next couple of days. Otherwise, we do have some interesting things to discuss and go over. And if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. So before we jump into the chartings and the technical analysis, I want to start off by getting a brief overview of the current coin market cap. You'll notice market cap is trading at 217, volume has dipped down, and Bitcoin dominance is trading at 67.2%. You'll see that the top 10 cryptocurrencies are pretty much in red. Everything is down, and you'll notice we are in pretty much a consolidation, trading sideways standpoint, and you'll notice that with that, we are starting to see the market veer kind of in a slight downtrend, which I'll show you guys in a second. But for the most part, majority of the market is in red. Some very minute amount of altcoins are in green, and they're not really up by much and doing quite well, but I'd say average we're down about 1.5 to 2%. So what I really want to focus on right now is exactly the current charts. I do want to discuss potentially where we could be expecting cryptocurrency to potentially be bouncing to. Are we expecting more bearish levels and retracements? Are we expecting potential, swings to the upside? Kind of where my head's at and where I'm anticipating cryptocurrency to go, specifically Litecoin and Bitcoin, because I do think there are some crazy things to discuss and point out on the markets that I feel like I have a better explanation to than some of the other cryptocurrency YouTubers out there. So to start off, it's, this is a juicy one, Bitcoin. I know Litecoin is definitely an interesting one too. And I do want to spend a lot of time on both of those. But as we know, Bitcoin is definitely in a very interesting pattern. Some key things to take away is the fact that we had a major symmetrical triangle. And you'll notice, not to spend too much time on here, that we managed to break bearish. And these symmetrical triangles can break in either direction. We broke bearish, and we saw a major pullback down to here. This ultimately led us to finding new support, which we're trading at very nicely, and opening up something which looks very similar to a bull flag. And I want to Google right now what exactly I am referring to. So if we go to bull flag crypto, you'll see what exactly I mean. So you can see that, let's see, this is continuation patterns. We have different types of bull flags. More specifically, a pennant flag would probably show us the best comparison. Let's see right here. Pennant flag definition. You can see this is what a pennant flag looks like. Very similar to what we're experiencing right now on crypto. And if I pull up right here images, this should pull up these pennant flags. You'll notice what pennant flag is I'm referring to. So you can see right here, these are the pennant flags. And if we then switch forward to crypto and I draw out on Litecoin, or sorry, on Bitcoin, the pennant flag we're looking at, this is it right here. This really big pennant flag is starting to form, which I consider to be bullish, where we shot up and then started to retrace lower, where we shot up and then started to retrace lower. So it's very similar, and it's showing quite well. You can see right here, this is a great definition of what exactly is forming and I'm referring to on previous coins that have seen a nice bullish breakout. And to pull that back into Bitcoin, just because we broke out of a symmetrical triangle in the past does not mean that we're not now within a bigger means of charting. So the fact that we broke bearish from here, yes, it broke us below the Fibonacci levels, but it did open our eyes to a couple of things to pay attention to. Not only did we not break bullish from a major downtrend, this right here has yet to be broken. Right here, I just opened it up. Or for example, I'll draw on it again. This has yet to be broken. We tested it here. We were trying to see whether or not we would hold support or whether we would break above it. We unfortunately broke below support, and that pretty much means that we have to extend this line out because it is a strong resistance. We then found a support right here, inevitably opening us up a major descending wedge or descending triangle or pennant flag or bull flag, whatever you want to call it. There's definitely different names. Descending triangle is one, but the fact that we have this continuation upwards here opens us up to a potential pennant flag, which inevitably usually break bullish to the upside. So we're going to have to continue on that. Now, in regards to short-term trading, something we have to pay very close attention to is the fact that if this does hold true, if this descending triangle does hold true, we do have opportunities to move up to higher levels short term. Not long term, short term. Being that we are currently oversold and being that we are extremely low does give us indication that we could inevitably rise up to the Fibonacci levels. You can see right here, this is all Fibonacci. So if we can continue to build up momentum and volume, we should be able to swing upwards, inevitably retesting a couple of points. One being the resistance that we haven't yet broken and the Fibonacci and the high-low MMAs on the daily charts. This would give us opportunities for other cryptos to break up as well, opening us up a potential, I'd say, 20% jump, which could, happen in the short term. So something along the lines of this is something we have to pay attention to. Something like that. Now, with that being said, following over to Litecoin. Litecoin is not necessarily as easy to graph out, but what I want you guys to pay attention to is the channel that we're stuck in, and I want you to look at previous levels, and if history repeats itself, Litecoin should be breaking up at a major rate. Now, if you'll notice right here, this is what I want you guys to look at. This is what I want you to focus on, this sideways consolidation and zero movement. Where have we had this in the past? Nothing over here, right here. So we've seen it here and we've even seen it here. So these are multiple levels here again where we've had sideways trading very similar that always tend to break bullish. So basing it off the past, sideways consolidation broke bullish, sideways consolidation has broken bullish, same thing here. And you can see they kind of act as stepping stones. So just because we broke bearish doesn't mean it's necessarily game over. We do have potential for us to break bullish out of this sideways movement to higher levels. And there are a ton of different factors that we have to take into consideration too, being that, obviously Fibonacci is trading way higher, the high-low MMA is way higher. We're very close to being oversold once again, and there is sideways movement, and usually this ends with some sort of major pop or burst in volume. I'd be very surprised if we fall lower. Usually we can break bullish from here, as I've shown you in the past, but this major volume is coming to the market very soon, and inevitably should break us up into these higher levels. Now this would be short term. Once again, this isn't a long-term rally. It's not a major rally back up to 140, but a short-term play, being that we could see movements up to here is anticipated up to $85 from the current $56 position. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. That's $30 per crypto or per Litecoin. So there is room for growth, and this is a short-term movement. So it's something you have to keep in mind, that this is a get in and get out scenario. It's not something to stay in long term. Unless you wanted to. If you want to hold long term, it's something to, these are great prices, and you don't really have to be watching current daily technical analysis. But for the people that want to make quick money and and fast, we have to consider that this is a short-term movement. It's going to pop up and immediately reject the current prices and then pull back down. So ultimately, Litecoin and Bitcoin do seem to be ready and willing to rally up higher, and we're looking for about a 20% gain on both cryptos. A little bit more on Litecoin. Now, looking at for Ethereum. Ethereum is pretty much foreshadowing what Litecoin and Bitcoin want to do. You can see how it's slowly retracing and coming back up to retest its Fibonacci levels. So we're merely just waiting to see what exactly this wants to do. We do have some sort of support here that I do want to add right here, and we'll see whether or not this does tend to hold on to the coin and raise it up to higher levels, as well as XRP, which is in a very odd and peculiar downtrend, descending wedge, you can see right here. And this does have potential to break bullish too, but we do need to consolidate. So for those of you who are XRP hodlers, I think there's a lot more consolidation needed for quite a while. I think not until the end of October will we see any sort of real judgment call within XRP. So it is something to consider. We do need this sideways trading. This is a huge resistance, and we are within a downtrend. Now this is 2 confirmations, so this doesn't hold that strong yet. We do need a 3rd confirmation. So if we manage to hit here and break down, then I'd say this downtrend is here to stay. But for right now, there's plenty of potential at this point to break out and, obviously shoot up higher. But that pretty much wraps up today's video. My big, takeaway from today's video is the fact that we are looking for some sort of correction up to the top. And if history does repeat itself, we should be able to see Litecoin blast off. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.